No. Huh?
You owe me, Falco. You're on your own. Good luck, little man. You did it!
All right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's check my volume here, make sure everything's running all right. Everything looks good on Rumble and X. Okay. All right, I think we're good. All right, so we're continuing through hard mode. I think we got 1 or 2 days left of Metroid Prime 4 before we say goodbye to it. Maybe never to play it again. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I own the game now, so, you know. Maybe one day when my son wants to play it, I'll be like, no, you gotta play the other games first. I gotta introduce him to the proper Metroid before we dive into the improper Metroid, if you will. Alright, so we're here in the flare pool. We're getting the last piece. And we got this big crab monster. Now, this thing killed me last night. I'm not sure. Hopefully that won't repeat again, but I'm entering in with 3 health down, so we'll see what happens. I just have to remember to scan this thing. Alright. Behemoth, a giant arthropod with 4 legs. Its entire body is covered with mineralized neutral biomes. That's not a good start. Attacks by rapidly shooting fire. Only its eyes are vulnerable. That's a horrible start to this fight. Put out one of his eyes. There we go. Down. There we go. Oh, I didn't get any of them. turn down the sensitivity of my of my aim there. A little hard to. Yeah, I know I'm low on ammo. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Nice. One more to go. Oh yeah, we got this. Plug up these fire holes. Yeah, easy peasy. Hey, man. Yeah, I decided to actually start on time today. Alright. Moving along here. Tonight I'll be in a discussion with Nerdy Neo and some of his crew on Metroid Prime 4. I'm sure it'll be a great conversation. I'm hoping that we'll get, you know, some I'm sure we'll get some different opinions on how. I'm fully expecting a discussion on slightly different opinions on how bad this game is, but you know, it'd be nice to see if we had some different thoughts on the game. You know, if someone like Apple Juice wants to show up again, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Oh, I wasn't supposed to go this way. I can't summon the. Oh, I have to go back. That's right. I think when it comes to critiquing games, and this is something I've struggled with too. Bird o'clock. Yeah, when it comes to critiquing games, and I've struggled with this too. It's hard to separate. Is this game good versus am I having fun playing this game? And I think those two things overlap. And to what degree do they overlap, I think determines whether or not people find a game. People argue over the quality of a game. Because, you know, a game is primarily made for entertainment, so therefore, you know, that should be a high priority. We want the game to be fun. To me, the two circles of fun and quality do overlap, and they should overlap, but I feel it overlaps for the overlap is smaller than most people would give it. I think it's perfectly possible to have fun playing a game that is not worth playing. I feel like over my time, my short time publicly critiquing video games, I've made that pretty clear. You know, there's a lot of things to consider, like not just gameplay wise, but story wise, visuals wise, and I do think it's possible to. I have to be careful how I say it. Like, train an audience to only expect and enjoy mindless entertainment, which is, you know, another thing we can talk about, but sounds like someone is like playing Candy Crush Yeah. I mean, something like Candy Crush is built on a fun premise of puzzles. Like, it is a puzzle game. It is, from what I've never played it, but I think it's, isn't it similar to like Tetris Attack, right? It has a basic fun game, a basic fun puzzle game, which is like akin to sitting down and doing a word puzzle or a Sudoku, which I do think has some merit to it. Surrounded by a bunch of mechanics that get you hooked. So, you know, I would say that the benefits of playing Candy Crush, sorry, the negatives of playing Candy Crush outweigh the benefits. If you're gonna play a game like Candy Crush, don't play Candy Crush. Play Tetris Attack. You know, play a game that has a bit more value to it and won't end up being a huge time suck, because you just have this desire to keep playing because of you're hooked on the gacha mechanics. That's why it's like I always have to like kind of like add that disclaimer that it is unfair of me to just say just because a game has gacha mechanics in it, therefore it's not worth playing. Like that's I know it comes across sometimes when I talk about it, but that's not what I'm saying. There are some games are mixed bags, and you have to determine if this game is worth playing and what your relationship to the game is. And I find that the more gacha mechanics shoved into a game, there's a correlation between the more gacha mechanics that are in a game and the more players that have an unhealthy relationship with said game. Not all players, but just more players. Leaving the flare pool. Hey, little guys, leave me alone. I want to make sure I scan them. Good, we good? Alright, hopefully we'll never need to come back here. As I slowly ride my bike. Been playing Enfield non-stop since it came out for a few days ago, and it's gacha. It's an amazing game with a slate amount of features and gameplay variety. I highly recommend, especially if you're wanting to dissect the appeal. Yeah, I know, I'm not against it, for sure. And you know, if it's one thing if the devs of the developers of like a game that is considered gacha put in an insane amount of work, or if it's just this is very clearly rinse and repeat AI slop. You know, I have not delved too deeply into the realm of gacha, so Eamon, I'm definitely relying on your opinion there. I just know it is. I feel like it is a proven thing that some of these mechanics are predatory, but they can be surrounded by other quality aspects: music, story, gameplay. You know, the gacha mechanics are present in any kind of like loot boxes. Like loot boxes are gacha mechanics, so those are in many games that are not considered gacha. You could say that the amiibo, like in Breath of the Wild, the amiibo function was once a day you log in and get your chance at once a day you log in and get your chance at one of the items that's a loot box function. You know, it's gotcha. It's along that same line. So you know, I do have to taper my how I discuss gotcha games, because it's like it is a mixed bag. Just like all video games are not created equal, you know, all gotcha games are. Games that are labeled gotcha games are not created equal as well. So I will say that as a disclaimer. So I don't mean to disparage people for playing from if they have a gotcha game they enjoy. You know, it's just you got to be aware of some of the dangers, and just like someone could get addicted to a gotcha game, someone could get addicted to this game or games in general, and that's not a good thing. You know, my stance is, I think I expressed it during Metroid Prime 2. It's like comes from you know, tokens on fairy stories. You know, the big problem with fantasy is if you desert your duty when engaging with fantasy, then that's a problem. But if you're engaging for enjoyment or escapism, then that's okay. Just make sure you're doing your duty as a person. You have your responsibilities, and you're taking care of them. That I think is the biggest thing. All right, time to take out the most annoying boss in the game. Sorry, I just read your comment. It came in. I can quit anytime I want. It's interesting. Gacha games rely on timers and energy systems. It gates progression while also habituating players to log in each day. Yes. Yep. Because if they didn't have the time gates or the progression gates, then players would eventually get bored. It's kind of like limiting the playtime, which in a sense can be a good thing. The problem is most of that relies on if you have money, you don't have a time gate, and you don't really have a progression gate. So there's all sorts of problems I see with that when it comes to like competition and you know, put in the money, pay to win, that kind of thing. But I imagine, you know, if a game has a good balanced progression system, you can still make a quality game that has a good progression system that, you know, yeah, you could move it faster if you paid money, but it could also just be like a normal, still feel like a normal RPG grind if it's paced right, you know? Especially if it has a solo player mode and a good story. So having a good story can redeem a lot of games. Like a lot of games, and change them from a game that I wouldn't waste my time with to a game that, you know, it's, you know, you gotta push through some poor quality gameplay to enjoy a quality story. So I don't know much about the Enfield story, but from what I've heard you say about it, it seems to be pretty quality, so. Oh, it's funny, Eamon, is that I never clicked on Enfield in my Google Play. Every now and then I peruse Google Play, but I haven't recently since we talked about it. But you've been mentioning Enfield, and all of a sudden, ever since you've mentioned Enfield, I've been getting ads on my YouTube channel for Enfield. They're listening. Alright, did I scan this guy? Alright, good. Let's try to end this quick. Why does it launch you so high into the air? How does it get so far over there? I just want to go fight a Malduga. I don't want to fight this thing. At least it has a like a interesting name. It's not like called like Great Sandworm. Yeah, I have heard good things about Genshin Impact. I mean, you know, that's the comparison to Breath of the Wild. I think was noticeable for everyone right at the start. Yeah. Also, the music to this fight just does not sound good. I'm not sure what they're going for, but if it's the Soul Desert music, then... Hey, I'm getting better at this. No. Oh, I hate how it does that. Why does it launch you so far? Go. Ow. It's like I wasn't paying attention. Almost there. Okay, 2 more hits. Should be done with this. Where are you? Ah! Missed. One more. Oh man. Come on. Seriously? Ah. Where is it? There it is. Oh man, come on. Yeah. Did it. Yeah, it's fun at first, but continuous slog if you're not running it perfectly. morning, Zeltroid. The best part about this boss fight right here. In terms of game, it says, in terms of gameplay, Genshin was also great. Was heavily influenced by Breath of the Wild, but the inability to skip cutscenes while forcing players to suffer through mindless cliche side quests to get pulls. It's one of the few games that had me hooked with the gameplay, but the aforementioned problems caused me to turn it off in a huff and an uninstall. Morning, Tim. Alright, so I've cleaned out the ice belt and the forge. I imagine I have to go back into the mines. Right? To get some items. Where am I at? Let's look at my percentages here. Oh, I'm very close to getting that. Maybe I'll go back and get the legacy suit just so I can spend some time with it, you know? Yeah, let's do that and pick up some drops along the way and some more crystals. Now that the gang's all here, say it again, I'm gonna be tuning in with Nerdy Neo and his crew tonight for a little roundtable discussion on this game. So if you guys are up, I think it's gonna start at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Just search for Nerdy Neo on his. I'll be sharing it on my social media accounts. So if you're up and you want to check it out, by all means, it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know if we'll get some arguments going, but that, you know, it's always a possibility of that. Makes for good television. But we are nearing the end of Metroid Prime 4. Maybe I'll try to like secretly play while I'm on live stream. Maybe that'd be too noticeable though. Alright, let's see. Where's Takabi? Oh, we gotta do all the Takabi stuff too. I really want. Oh, there he is. He's over there. Tracking you. You didn't know that? I only told you that we had comms ready, but I'm actually trying. Can see everything you see. I had a thought, Tim says, I had a thought yesterday about this game's layout and map and realized it reminds me more of Ocarina of Time rather than Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, just because of its size. Yes, it is very much set up like Ocarina of Time, and it's much faster to move across the map. Well, I mean, Breath of the Wild, the big map was like the open world part. This is the open world part. That was its draw. That was its gameplay. Whereas Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask had this structure. But if you, I kind of want to. I was thinking about like when Ocarina of Time like makes you backtrack, it does so with a purpose, and it does so like it's not just simply go back and get this item. There's multiple things happening when. Okay, so my favorite example of this in Ocarina of Time is when you get out of the Kokiri Forest, you go to Zelda, you go to Death Mountain, you get all the way up to Death Mountain, and you can't, and Daruni is like in a tizzy. And then Navi gives you the big hint. Maybe we should ask Saria what's going on, which is, you know, that's Navi, whatever. But then you have to find her. She doesn't tell you exactly where she is, but you have to find your way through the Lost Woods, and eventually you find Saria in the Lost Woods, and you get a nice little character moment that builds up the relationship between Link and Saria. She gives you an item, Saria's song, that has a function both in the narrative of the story and also gameplay-wise. Like you can whistle to her to find information, which I never actually used. But there's multiple purposes to the backtracking. There's a story purpose, there's a gameplay purpose, there's more than one story purpose because you need it to progress the game, and you have a nice, one of the best moments with Darunia that shows his own personality and builds up his relationship to Link. You know, that's a good fetch quest. That's a good like backtracking thing. Here the backtracking is like, go get this part. Okay, now do the same thing again. It would be like if I had to revisit Saria multiple times to progress the story. Here you have to constantly do the same backtracking side quest to progress the story. Whereas in a game like Ocarina of Time, for as simple as it was because of when it was made, every backtracking moment, it has purpose. It has multiple purposes to it, if that makes sense. When I played it again recently, like I think it still holds up to this day with how it's paced, story-wise and gameplay-wise. So now that you know you haven't missed the swim snatcher, are you going to 100% the game? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I always called her Saria. I never noticed the I in her name. I could be pronouncing it wrong. Is it it's Saria, right? Or Saraya? Oh, I guess while I'm here, I should try to empty out Fury Green. Now the question is, do I have enough crystals? That's why I'm here. I didn't even check. Yeah. Overall, it doesn't make sense. Come on, come on. Do I have enough? Probably not. Womp womp. Nope. Oh, well, whatever. Gotta get the memory fruit, not like the... I don't know. The artichoke of legacy. Oh, you can kill them. I was complaining about this the other day. Griever skull. Alright, let's clear out Fury Green. I think if I... Okay, whatever.
You mentioned grievers were actually rewards. They were searching for a way to...
Ah, yes. This box. The art of juggling. I can wish there's this. You know, not like memory fruit. It's another. Like, what's an esoteric fruit they could have thrown in there? They could have made it like the supposed fruit of like the Garden of Eden. That would have added some like theological subtext to it. Apparently, it wasn't. It's not an apple in the old Garden of Eden story. It's supposed to be some other Middle Eastern fruit. I forget what it is. We need a DLC where we explore the tree of the Na'vi. I'm not low on ammo. I got 60 shots left. Jeez. Man, these guys were ready for a fight. They're just all... Alright, here we go. Scanning. Miles tells you when you have enough. Oh, of course he does. Wouldn't want me to figure that out on my own. When you're out in the desert, once you get enough to Legacy Suit, he commands you to come back and deposit your crystals. He commands you. And yes, commands, I don't remember it being a suggestion. I'll look for it this time. I guess I can go one of two ways here. Alright, we'll loop around. I don't know where that scan bot is. Okay, I don't even want to fight anything. I just want to get the things and get out. I remember in Metroid Prime 1, the only hint they gave you as to where items were was like, it was like you had to listen to the sound they make, and that was it. You had to like scour every room methodically. Ah, the good old days. Sorry guys, I don't have time for you. Aha! It was so funny how like Fury Green when you first enter it, it really did make me feel like I was back in the Talon overworld. But then, I don't know, because they never make you come back here. Well, the Talon overworld was like kind of like endearing in a way because you kept coming out in the Talon overworld and like seeing different parts of it and seeing how it's all interconnected and it's all its own ecosystem and wildlife. And then here it's like, okay, the Fury Green, and then you're done. And then you only come back here to visit Miles. I don't know, just the feeling of being back on Talon 4 in the Talon overworld was quickly lost on me. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Everybody, line up please, everyone. That'll do. Oh, I don't have the super shot? Oh, out of shot ammo. Guess I got too trigger happy with my shot ammo. At least these ones are easy to kill. Where's that plant? It's just such a shame that they didn't like one of the, I don't know, the way I see it is when they when they work in backtracking, part of its purpose I see is for the player to build a connection to the world, and you can't develop the same feeling as the Talon overworld or other Metroidvanias where you get to the end of the game and you're like, man, I know that map. Like, I know it by the back of my hand. Like, you can't do that unless you really, really work in like the connectivity of the map in a way that creates that sense, which is why I am shocked that they did not introduce fast travel in this game. I was fully expecting it to show up at some point where I didn't have to go through the desert. So it's like, to an extent, they understood that. They wanted the Soul Desert to be the place that you develop a connection to. But the problem was it was so bland that people ended up rejecting it, you know? Like, I don't have any... I've played this game twice now. Okay. And I don't have I don't feel any real connection to it. Like, when I played, and like, you can do it, like Breath of the Wild, like, I love that game. That game, you know, I understand the criticism that it's not a Zelda game, but, man, that really made me feel like I was a kid playing Zelda again. Ocarina of Time again for the first time. I want to play it again. Okay. Aha, there's a missile upgrade. There you go. Ow. Did I ever play Ghost Song? It's a Metroidvania with a fascinating dev story. No, I didn't. I've only played a handful of indie Metroidvanias. There's a ton of indie Metroidvanias. The only ones I have my eye on right now are Lucid and Silent Planet. Those two. Oh, and Mariachi Legends. Those three look like really well done. Okay, this is going to take me all the way back to where I first entered Fury Greedy. Shot upgrade. Did I get all the shot upgrades? That gives me 400. Oh wait, never mind. Still 390. Like this is beautiful, you know? I find it funny how the Lemorn were like, some of us evolved to have psychic crystals on our forehead, but others didn't. And we felt bad, so we surgically implanted psychic crystals in their forehead, and then they became griefers. Like, did they have a choice? That would have been an interesting log if, like, like a lore log where one of the Lemorn's like, yeah, it turns out a lot of the Lemorn didn't actually want the psychic crystals, but we forced them to get it anyway. That would have made the story way more interesting. Oh yeah. Psychic bomb. Yeah, I did actually notice that coming in here. The music is very atmospheric. It's nice. I mean, the music and the visuals, I think, are the best aspects of this game, which is usually not what you want to go for when making a video game. I mean, you want great music and visuals for sure, but those two things won't save a game. Story will save a game, and gameplay is the ultimate factor. I'm gonna get everything in the map and then find the scout bot. Oh, wait, this is just taking me to the... I forgot. It's a loop. Run, 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 run. Yeah, this is taking me right to the portal thingy. Well, look at that. Oh, maybe I did find the scout bot already. No, I didn't, because Oh, I'm in the Soul Valley. Was there another way I could go? Oh, whatever. Okay, let's go get some more crystals and get this suit. If I had the chance to look at the Nintendo Dream article, it's insane some of the things he says there. But it's really eye-opening. Did you release your video on it? I was I was waiting for your video release. But I haven't seen a translation yet. Cargo launcher of memory. Well, now I'm curious. Quiet clear. Look at the quiet clearing. Hollow log. Ravine overlook. Forgotten lagoon. Cliffside gate. I wonder what the names of the rooms in Metroid Prime were. We need to look that up. Thought you saw a scout bot? Well, it's somewhere in the Fury Green. It's okay. Alright, so I gotta go back into the mines. Ow. I gotta go back into the mines, and I gotta go back into... I think that's it, actually. Yeah, what is my... What's my item count? There's a way to see that, right? Scans 92%. 85% items. Did I not scan these guys? Oops. Where's the other one? Where are you? Scan him. Come on. Where is he? Serious? Just, I want to scan you, that's all I want. That's all I want in life. There we go. Developed by the Lemorn after the Great Tragedy, they were never deployed in battle. Well, they would have been useful. Oops, sorry. Alright, where are we going here? Guess we'll go up here. Yeah, I dropped the video yesterday, but be warned, it's an hour long. Super long on it. Okay, awesome. I will definitely check that out today. I'm really interested.
There appears to be some Galfan debris near your location.
It'll be good.
Place to search for back parts.
It'll be good to have all that information before I do my talk tonight.
We can fix the mech. We can break down the force field around Chrono Tower. Also, how you doing with the hunt for green energy crystals? Don't forget to bring the green energy crystals to the altar very green so you can grow the memory fruit.
Gotta grow the memory fruit. Alright, let's go talk to good old Tokabi. We're doing it, guys. Where's that mech part? What's over there?
May Solon watch over you.
May Solon watch over. See, that's a good colloquialism. Someone pointed out yesterday that I made a short about how it's like, what's her name says, "Holy cow!" And how it would have been nice if they had like a nice little colloquialism there instead of just "Holy cow" or "Booyah" or something like that. And they were like, I don't know, whenever I watch it, he said whenever he watched The Mandalorian and they said like, "Dank Ferric." Or they used their, there was another one that was like, the cup calling this something slimy or whatever. They used it a number of times. It was kind of cringe. And yeah, it can be cringe sometimes when they make up their own colloquialisms, but you know, him saying "May Solon watch over you," it's like, imagine if he said "May God bless you." It's like that would immediately take everyone out out of immersion, because it's like, well, wait a minute, they believe in God in this in this universe, you know. That's you know, I think it's a good example of how, you know, not working in your own world building lingo can help or hurt your game immersion. Chevelle, good to see you. Yes, that thing was running away from me. It was really frustrating. Oh, wait, maybe that was a signal we have enough. Okay. Speaking of old school, did you see the first look at Henry Cavill in the Highlander remake? I did not, but I feel really bad for Henry Cavill. What a waste of talent. They like, I feel like he's been done dirty in everything that he's been a part of. He was awesome as Superman, and they were like, no more Henry Cavill. He was great as Geralt in The Witcher, but no, he was the only one that cared about the source material in that show, and it showed. It showed in the first couple seasons. I don't know. I hope he finds a role that he actually that he's actually valued in. Yeah, he needs a good win on a nerdy IP.
Have you collected enough green energy crystals? Maybe you should return to Fury Green and offer those green energy crystals to the altar.
Yeah, that's the signal. Okay, what am I missing here? Ugh. I know. Okay, there's an item here. Is this another spot where I can meet Tokabi? Because I'm pretty sure I got this. Yeah, I got it already. Unless there's something underneath here. Can I go down here? Whee! Oh yeah, look at that. Those tricky game developers. It was a suggestion. That would be really funny though. He just comes in and says, "Samus, get over here now." That would at least make things interesting. Yeah, I got screwed over as Soups. Same goes for Witcher. Then he was asked for Warhammer 40k into the series. Then right after a bunch of drama. Yeah. Alright, let's go get the Legacy suit so I can at least go back into the mines and enjoy it for a little bit before I have to give it up for good. least it doesn't take very long to cross the desert. Takes like 2 minutes maybe? I don't know. Space King. No, I don't know what Space King is. Is it a game, a movie? I heard they were making a He-Man movie. Be over here now? We don't have to restart the map. No, not yet. Space King is a fan series by Flash Gets. It's similar to DBZ Bridge. Oh, nice. I'll just check that out. Unless you're not talking about the article itself, rather Nintendo Dream's actual Twitter account. In that case, your guess is as good as mine. Oh, okay. What's my system doing here? Computer's not on fire, so that's good. I feel like this game's kind of ending at the right time. I feel like there's very little more I could say about it. All has been said that needs to be said. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You were watching DBZ Abridged last night. Watched Mystic Gohan on Super Boo just to get aired. I mean, maybe Matt all over again 25 years later. Man, DBZ, that show, I remember discovering that as a kid and being like instantly hooked and being like, this is the greatest thing ever. That and Batman the Animated Series. But then I would get frustrated when they'd spend an entire episode charging up. Alright, anybody know where the scout bot is? I don't wanna waste my time looking for it. Bye bye. Memory fruit acquired. Legacy suit acquired. It's a database containing all their accumulated knowledge of history in an organic fruit. Yeah, legacy suit. Look at that. Pretty cool design. I think the scout boat is back towards the beginning of the area. Like the first few rooms. Dang. Eamon says, for anyone interested, I'll post the first episode of Space King in Discord. Zelthred says, I have wondered how it hooked us all so well. You get like 23-minute episodes daily, and 20 minutes of it is filler. Kids are more patient, but yeah. Well, I mean, they were good at building up anticipation. And I think the whole power level thing was so unique for the time, because that was like our first experience it in the West, maybe. Hey girl. Oh my god. That's the first time I heard her say that. I did not like that. Wow. Talk about immersion breaking. Jeez. All right, okay.
Were actually rewards. They were searching for a way to turn. Have fun out there.
Okay, we'll go clear out the mines, and then if I'm still missing any items, I think I got them all actually in Fury Green, but we'll go clear out the mines, and then if I'm still missing items, we'll come back and look for it. But yeah, the DBZ, like, I feel like it had, well, one, Goku is just an awesome hero. He's not just like an altruistic hero. He's one of those types of heroes that doesn't just beat evil. He like lifts up everyone else around him. Like, with the exception of like Cell and Frieza, every enemy he fights most enemies he fights ends up becoming a friend. You know, it's like he's got that kind of like, good is the best, and I cannot just defeat evil, but I can turn people from evil to good. So there's that kind of like, I don't know, adds a bit more depth to a show that's not very deep. And the whole, you know, it just appeals to young boys training hard and, you know, overcoming. It's basically like a very simplified hero's journey every time they fight a bad guy. It's like multiple heroes' journeys in every fight. They learn something new that gives them the edge, and then they're about to win, but then something happens, and then they go back to square one, and then they're about to die, but then they find a hidden power, and they overcome, and they're changed forever. It's like, you know, very simplified many heroes' journeys throughout the show. If I can overanalyze a show like Dragon Ball Z.
We can break down the force field around Chrono Tower. All you have to do now is find the missing mech parts and send them my way. I'll be on standby.
Yeah. Be my friend? No. Smack you. Now be my friend?
Samus.
Yeah, Goku is a symbol of hope. He's
Have
wholesome.
you already seen the rebels from the Federation base?
Courageous. And innocence is another thing. Goku's very innocent. Now, you mean, like, when you say how about now, you mean like in Dragon Ball Super? They intentionally made Goku like stupider in Super for like gags, and I'm not sure why. Super was a mixed bag. I mean, Frieza's arc in Super and the tournament's arcs were really cool, but everything else was kind of dumb. Vegeta had some good character moments in Super. Like when he trained Kaba to become a Super Saiyan. That was pretty cool. But he was ultimately snubbed many times again. And then in his fight against Tuppo, like Tuppo sacrifices his values to become a god of destruction so he can beat Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, I'm not going to sacrifice any of my values. Like, I'm going to beat you without having to sacrifice my values. That's kind of deep for a show like that, I think, you know?
Mech parts seem to be scattered across Vuros. Maybe we should check around the port structures as well.
I don't know if Super was written by a different guy or not. I pretend Super didn't exist, to be honest. Dragon Ball died with Toriyama, yeah. Goku was smarter in the old Dragon Ball series. Like the original, like Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I don't know why they plan to like make them. Like the whole thing was in Dragon Ball Z, he was naive in the sense that he felt he could save everyone. You know, him and Vegeta even have a discussion on that on Namek. Vegeta's like, listen, you might be strong, but the strongest fighter doesn't always win the fight. Like, these guys are cutthroats and they'll kill you if you give them a chance. You know, it's but he's like, no. But in the end, Vegeta's proven right, I think. Like, he gives Frieza that one last chance, and then Frieza tries to take a cheap shot at him, and he has that epic moment where he's like, screams out, "You fool!" and then he just blows him away. So, in the end, Vegeta was right. He did have to kill Frieza. But yeah, he was naive in one sense, but then as the series went on, they decided to make him more, especially in Super, more and more naive and kind of dumb. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to blow those things up. Both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, no. If you're gonna watch Super, do the first Frieza, the Frieza Resurrection, and do the first tournament scene, the first tournament fight, and then just skip right to the Tournament of Power. Tournament of Power is pretty good. It gives like older legacy characters a moment to shine. You know, like even what's his name, Master Roshi, gets some cool moments. I think Krillin's the first eliminated. Makes sense, I guess. Speed limited. I wonder why. Let's be honest, Vegeta would be the best and strongest if they existed in real life. He works the hardest. He wants it the most. But yeah, Goku plot. I did watch GT back when it first came out as a kid. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 was super cool. They snubbed Vegeta. They snubbed pretty much every other character in the show, and it just focused on Goku, which I didn't like. Piccolo gets killed, like, immediately. Vegeta gets taken over by Baby. Doesn't do anything. Oops. Okay. I know. GT had its problems, for sure. save, just in case. Yeah, I think Akira Toriyama didn't actually like Vegeta, like the character of Vegeta. I think it's in... his favorite character is actually Piccolo, I think. Which it was nice to see Piccolo get some love, and Gohan get some love in Dragon Ball Superhero. But, you know, power creep is real. Don't really know where the show can go next. I didn't watch Daima, but I heard it was good. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's where the big departure came in. They were setting up... Oh, gosh. They were setting up Gohan to take over Goku's legacy, which they should have done. But I think he just abandoned it. Play it safe. Alright, anything in here? Doesn't look like it. Let's go. Whee. 6:05, okay. Only got a few more minutes today. Sorry, little bug. I didn't shoot a missile. Oh. My favorite way to take these things out. Sneak by them. Go full Emperor Palpatine. I believe I got... Oh, it's this thing. An oscillation blast. Okay, it's like, will that attract the Reavers? Is that only missiles? 91%. All right. Scanned that. Good. Back here. Underground bees. More dead bugs. So did all the Lemorn turn into Grievers, or was it just the ones that they like artificially forced the crystal on? I thought it was just the ones that they artificially forced the crystals on. Ow. Alright, we're doing good. Sorry, there's not much to talk about. We need we need someone to come in last minute and start an argument with Zeltroid just to make things more interesting. Quick, someone say something controversial. Artificial crystals equal mutants. Okay. What if Zelda was a girl? She's not a girl, stupid. She's the guy with the green hat. What if Metroid was a girl? You know, how about that one? Did you ever consider that? Oh, I went backwards. I'm sorry. So dumb. Someone say old dungeons are lame and deserve to stay dead. That'll get me to pick up my pitchfork and torch. I actually kind of liked the improvement of the dungeons in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I felt they really did capture the essence. Oh, how about this one? Dungeons have always been like that. I think that argument of like that show pops up every now and then. It's like the game was like a game clearly changes something or changes tone, and then you get hit with, listen, the series has always been this way. Like I can't stand that argument because then it's very clear like we're seeing two different realities here. Alright guys, I think gotta call it a day. So yeah, if you follow me on X or on YouTube, I'll make a post about it. So I'll try, I want to read this. Oh god, I would mute your channel so fast. And it says, funny enough, that's what was being said yesterday with Metroid was never about. Yes, yeah, that exactly. I bit my lip a little bit, mostly because of the end of the stream, but that was the argument. That's what made me think of that. It was never about isolation. When I think I did say something. I said, actually, I disagree with you, everyone I've talked to. Yeah, that was that came up yesterday. But seriously, it was good. I do want to encourage spirited debate in the chat. Just You know, keep it civil. Keep the language PG-13. No ad hominems. You know, all the normal stuff. But yeah. So yeah, if you follow me on X or subscribe on YouTube tonight, I'll be chatting with Nerdy Neo's crew about Metroid Prime 4, and then we'll finish it up the next couple days. So after that, don't know what I'm gonna play in between this and when Resident Evil 9 comes out, but we'll find something fun to do. I will continue to play Metroid games, either once or twice a week. I'm gonna go back and finish Metroid Prime 3, and then just I have an urge to 100% the Metroid Prime trilogy, so we'll continue to play Metroid games for sure. But yeah, tune in tonight if you're around. I think it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Nerdy Neo's channel on YouTube. I think he's also on Kick as well, but I'll post about it so everybody has the link. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you tonight, but if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.
Okay, guys, destroy all barriers.